Hello. Welcome to Codes of Harmony. I've some channeled messages for the collective. I've just gotten out of the ocean. I had an estuary swim, which of course is where the river meets the ocean. A very special place. And um, and then dived under some waves. So feeling all salty and in my mermaid power. And I had a very lovely interaction with somebody today talking about a significant time in her life, um, like a precious, important moment when when birds came to her, and it was just it's just really profound how animals, the wisdom of wild things, as I've called this video, which of course references also the wildness within, um, the untapped inner wildness that is within the shadow. Um, yeah, and it's funny because I was having a really awful day. This huge flock of birds just took up from the mangroves. I was having a really awful day the other day, and I was like struggling to shift and move the energy. And then I saw these two ducks in the river, and it just totally changed my day. Like, it completely changed my energy. Um, and it was this like pair of, like life partner ducks. Um, yeah, in the river, which also I haven't seen yet on the river where I live. So it was definitely the conversation I had today. An ibis just flew by. The conversation I had today was a confirmation of that. And so now I feel, give me clear divine guidance, be most beneficial for everyone involved. I feel like there is, there's been a lot of big, huge, like huge changes to the collective, but these changes are not superficial. There's been lots of times throughout our collective history, her story, them story, our collective story, that there has been superficial changes or dramatic changes to the physicality of Earth, which is definitely happening now, but there is some kind of very deep, very powerful change that is happening within humanity. And it's bringing out a lot. I'll just say that. It's bringing out a lot of different aspects of the collective. And one aspect that this message is about the animalistic, okay? So I'm talking about the wisdom within animals. You will find that messages come to you in the form of birds, in the form of even quote unquote domesticated animals that will come and say hello to you at just the right time, or remind you of parts of your wild self, okay? And like humanity has spent so much time seeing ourselves, viewing ourselves as the most powerful, as the most intelligent, a little bit like America, right? Just saying. So that's a little joke. But they say behind every joke there is a truth, right? And there's something very dangerous about creating that dramatic difference in hierarchy, particularly when it comes to intelligence. And so this message is about the fact that there is so much wisdom in animals. There is so much profound powerful, ancient, complex and simple wisdom in animals, in the wild, particularly animals that live in the wild, right, that you see in the wild. Keep an eye out for that. Be open to those messages, tune into those messages. And if you find yourself in a particular situation where there are people, places, or things that are pushing in on your energy, that are impacting you, that are interrupting your flow of things, that might be being disrespectful, might be being even abusive or chaotic or angry, seek the wild creature around, yeah? Particularly a wild creature that seems to come into your eyesight or seems to come into the place that you are. Even if you're indoors, inside, there'll be, sometimes it's as small as a powerful emblem or symbol of a spider, or a mouse, or any kind of insect. There's a lot of wisdom in insects. And I guess there's like a deeper message that I can feel coming through, and maybe this will be the beginning of a larger conversation about not seeing ourselves as separate from the wild. And we really have to do a lot of breaking down of this like training that we've been taught within our societies, within our extremely advanced, extremely like big brained beings that we are. And this is not to take away from the intelligence of humans, because humans are incredible as well, right? Humans are amazing. We have so much potential, each and every single one of us. But we cannot see ourselves as better than animals. We cannot see ourselves as higher up than animals, regardless of any kind of food chain. And we cannot disrespect the wisdom within animals and the wisdom within the wild. So that includes wild flowers, wild trees. There's a dog here that loves swimming. He's so happy to be near the water. Oh, where's your human? Yeah, and also I hope that this message, wherever it finds you, that it also encourages you to not only respect the wisdom of wildlife, but the wisdom of the wild inside of you. And part of that separation mental training that we have had. What's the matter, Bobby? That puppy's lost their person. Or you're just too excited to go to the water. Yeah, part of the separation, the civilization of people that has taken us so far away from nature, that has pulled us so far away from our own nature, from the quote unquote animalistic parts of us. And that's not to shame, interesting, because it is about shame, right? Shaming the wildness, shaming the shadow. And by doing that, we are also shaming our connection to the world, our connection to Gaia, to Mother Earth, and all of the living beings that are here. Whether they're tiny and small, whether they slither and they're a little bit spooky to some, whether they are big and completely wild and quote unquote dangerous. Well, maybe you don't need to put a quote for some beings. There's going to be some kind of unlocking of you being able to love yourself and understand yourself more when you respect the wild creature in you. And humans, we're just really smart animals. And sometimes really stupid animals too. Um, I've also noted that, I experience a lot of discrimination. A lot of people try and bully me. Um, try being the significant word there. And I have noticed that part of that comes with this this pushing of the idea of some people being more animalistic than others. And this actually harkens back to, of course, colonization, and that when invading colonizing forces that saw themselves as better and more civilized and in some ways more human, in more human ways, they didn't understand the indigenous peoples that they were coming into contact with, and they saw them as more like animals. And there is going to be some kind of breaking of that. There is going to be some kind